Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are tackling a pretty tricky grid puzzle. Let's break down the problem called maximum score from grid operations. It's marked as hard, and for good reason. Before we jump in, if you get confused at any point during this explanation, just drop a question down in the comments below. I try to reply to as many as I can. Here is the problem page. It looks a little bit complicated, so let me explain the rules step by step visually so it's easier to digest. We are given a grid full of numbers. To start off, imagine that every single square on this board is painted white. We are allowed to perform an operation on this grid. We can pick any column and paint a certain number of squares black, starting from the very top and going down as far as we want. Our ultimate goal is to get the highest score possible. But here is the catch. You only collect the points from a white cell if it is sitting directly next to a black cell, horizontally. So if you have a white cell worth 5 points, it only counts toward your total if it has a black cell directly to its left or directly to its right. Let's look at a simple example grid. Imagine we want to try painting some cells. Let's say we color the first column black, from the top down to the third row. Now we look for white cells next to black cells. That number 1 in the second column is white, and it has a black cell right next to it, so we add 1 to our score. The key insight here is that because we always paint from the top down, we don't have to worry about complicated patterns. We just need to decide the height of the black bar for each column. Because the scoring rule only looks left and right, our choices for one column only directly affect the columns right next to it. This is a perfect setup for dynamic programming. As we move across the grid, to figure out our max score at any point, we just need to keep track of 2 things. How tall is the black bar in our current column, and how tall was it in the column right before it? Now let's think about how the score changes. If our current column's black bar is shorter than the one before it, the white cells underneath it are going to get points because they are sitting next to that taller black bar from the previous column. But what if our current column is taller? In that case, the extra black cells we just added are going to give points to the white cells that were left behind in the previous column. There is a massive trap here though. If we give points to the previous column, we have to make sure the column 2 steps back didn't already trigger those points. We can't double count the score. To avoid cheating, we actually have to consider the height of the column 2 steps back, let's call it k. We only add to our score if our new tall column is reaching areas that k didn't already cover. Checking that third column every single time creates a loop inside a loop inside a loop, which is way too slow for Leetcode. Instead, we can pre-calculate the maximum scores we've seen so far and just look them up instantly. Just a quick heads up, I'll be showing the exact code logic using Python first, because it's usually easiest to read. But if you code in Java, C++, or JavaScript, I have the full translated solutions for you at the end of the video. Okay, here is the full Python solution. It is definitely a mouthful. Let's chop it up into smaller pieces to see how it ticks. First, we set up our main dynamic programming table to store the scores as we calculate them. We also set up a few extra tables to hold those pre-calculated maximums we talked about earlier, so we can run fast. Next, we calculate prefix sums for every single column. This is just a classic trick that lets us instantly find the total score of any chunk of a column without having to loop through the individual cells every time. Here is our first case inside the main loop. If the current column's black height is shorter than or equal to the previous one, we calculate the score of the white cells beneath it and add it to our best historical score. And here is the trickier second case where the current column is taller. We calculate the new points it gives to the previous column. Notice how we use those pre-calculated maximum tables here to safely grab the best previous score without accidentally double counting. At the very end of our loop for a single column, we have to update our maximum tables. This primes them with the freshest data, so they are ready to go when we move on to the next column. You might wonder about the edges of the board. The very first column doesn't have a left neighbor, so its previous height is just 0. The very last column doesn't have a right neighbor, meaning its choices don't ripple forward anymore. So what can we learn from this problem? The biggest takeaway is how we took a messy 2-dimensional grid coloring problem and realized we only needed to track a single number for each column, its height. The second big lesson is about speed. When your dynamic programming state forces you to look backwards multiple steps, creating an extra table to track the maximums you've seen so far can eliminate a whole nested loop. Let's talk about complexity. The time complexity is order n cubed. This is because we have to iterate through every column, and for each column we iterate through all possible current heights and all possible previous heights. The space complexity is also order n cubed, because our tracking table needs a dimension for the columns, a dimension for the current height, and a dimension for the previous height. We will get to the other language codes in just a second, but real quick, I've changed up the format of these videos recently to try and make them faster and more visual. Let me know in the comments if you think this new style is better. Also, you can probably tell this is narrated by AI. I built this tool for myself to instantly generate clear explanations the second a problem drops to help me study. I upload them here in case they help you too, with absolutely no ads and no sponsorships. Alright, as promised, here are the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. Instead of pausing and typing these out, you can just grab the copy-paste versions on my site, linked in the description. Here is the full solution translated into Java. Next up, we have the exact same logic written in C++. And finally, here is the solution using JavaScript. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to support the channel, you can donate at buymeaboba.com/Leetcode daily. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's problem. Keep coding, and I'll see you in the next one.